You can kill me, but you will never destroy me. It takes strength to resist the dark side.
Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one.
Are you kidding? Why the hell should I wait for you?
I know what it's like to try and rebuild a life. I had a bad day too, once.
If you're having nightmares, then welcome to the club. My name's Subaru Natsuki, and I am the Knight of Amelia.
Right now, all I can give you is just death.
It wasn't for you in particular.
You fought 100 men because it's not in your nature to run away.
If you are feeling disheartened, that you are somehow not enough, set your heart ablaze.
Good evening, everyone, and I appreciate you all being here. It is, I don't know, yet another Saturday, and someone is setting fireworks off outside my house, so my dog may or may not run in and out of my room tonight. I don't have a door to stop him, but I'm the only person on this floor of the house who refuses to go to the basement, so he is something else. Special. Anyway, don't really have like a whole lot of like news topics or anything to talk about. There wasn't like anything big that happened this week that I really want to cover in tonight's section. So it's probably just going to be talking about a lot of the anime and stuff. And Bruce, are you gonna join me? Do you want to stay in here or not? Come on. Fucking pansy, because I have vinyl plank floors in my room, so they're faux plank floors. He refuses to walk on them because this fucking dumbass here is terrified of them, and he's more terrified of being alone. When the fireworks are going off. So he is constantly trying to make up his mind as to whether he wants to be in my room because I don't have a door to keep him out, or whether he wants to leave because he's terrified of the plank floors. I can't with this dog, man. I can't with this dog. But the questioners, Ferds. I don't know if that's that's a thing. But nice to see you. Hello, Marcel. Glad to see you. Jeremy Turner. Nice to see you. That's a big boy and a nice dog as well. He is a good dog. He is very, very well behaved. He's a good boy. He is just a pussy. He is a coward. But yeah, I mean, there are some like small things I do want to go over somewhat briefly at the end, but it's nothing like super major. There was like really no big news that I'm going to cover tonight. So we're going to spend most of the time talking about anime. Well, just about all of the time talking about anime, and the list is up to 29 entries as of this week. So actually, I should explain the title of the stream this week. I'm not high, I'm just awkward. Because I went out to lunch with a friend today that I haven't seen in a couple months because we've both just been busy working on life stuff. And I got there first and went to get a table, and I fumbled literally every speech check in that restaurant up until my friend arrived. For some reason, I was acting, I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything. It was bad. And I got to the table and I finally got like a drink, and I'm just like, everyone here probably thinks I'm like high or retarded or something, because that whole fucking clustercluck of interactions of not being able to talk to the wait staff properly it was bad. So that is why it is I'm not high, I'm just awkward tonight. Because I can't speak in public today. Imagine talking about anime on an anime podcast. Yes. Don't worry, we're only 5 minutes in. We're still enjoying. I wanted to share my fucking fuck up today because I thought you'd get a kick out of me being a retard in a restaurant. You mean instead of life coaching about YouTube career trajectories, the other live stream I'm watching is getting taken down over and over again? So for this live, I'm hopeful. I don't know what you're watching, but geez, I'm not planning to get taken down. Just talking about weebs and waifus. I know. And yes, Bruce is a good doggo. I said his name, he got up. And all right, you got the dog, you got my awkward like speech check fails, and it's time to talk about the thing that everyone is actually tuned in for. Anime discussion, because that is what we do around here. So I covered a lot of this stuff last week, so you're kind of familiar with my opinions. Some of that has changed, and we'll talk about that. But we also have a lot of new stuff to cover. Really? My pup can't stand the fake floors either? Yeah. Well, our whole basement is this same flooring. And he slipped on it once, and now he's terrified to walk. It's really a pain in the ass when it's really a pain in the ass when we have tornadoes and we're trying to get him into the basement. Also, hello, Biggles. Did you know the Dinner Table Detective is the greatest shit show since Ghost Stories? Now, genuinely, we'll talk about that, but yes. Kinda, yeah. All right, let's work our way through the list here. And we'll start with my notes, and we'll go down the list of all the things that I have notes on. So, and that starts with Unaware Atelier Meister. Because, well, the evil lord of an intergalactic empire does not have another episode for another 2 weeks. What the fuck? Why? Why would you drop 3 episodes and then dip? But I digress. What are we on? Okay. So Unaware Atelier Meister. In this episode, we see the whole old party disband. And Kurt ends up doing a bunch of really ridiculous stuff in this episode, like breaking powerful curses, tunneling through entire mountains, and revolutionizing trade routes. I like this show, genuinely. Like, I find it very fun, just because it is like a dumb version of being overpowered. And that part of it is interesting, because he's overpowered in anything that that doesn't involve combat. I like that part of the story. Otherwise, it is really just a trash fantasy with an almost copy with an almost copy paste story formula. Overpowered character gets booted out of their party. Party suddenly regrets not having overpowered character around. Party disintegrates because overpowered character was the backbone of their entire structure. Atelier Meister is on a very flat trajectory, not bad, but unless they decide to make a really big shift, it's going to stay trash fantasy. Yes, I expect it to stay trash fantasy, and I don't mind that. It's the other stupid stuff that happens in this, just like everyone constantly being flabbergasted at Kurt's ability to accomplish things, that makes it entertaining to me. It is like it is a like high 5, low 6, or to mid 6, somewhere in that range, if you ask me, because it doesn't really have anything else going for it. And I'm just going to keep watching it for what it is until that shtick gets stale. Which there is the possibility that it will, unless they keep escalating this over and over and over again, as Kurt remains completely unaware of just how much power he has. There are like 5 or 6 of these, if you count A rank, still this season, with kicked out of something. It's just dumb fun. Yeah. So yeah, how many of these do we have that are like I was kicked out of? Let's see. We have Two Perfect Saint, Atelier Meister, A rank Party. I mean, there's 3. There might be more, but I haven't watched them. Either way, this one's going to stay here just because I enjoy it. Like, I think it's fun. There's really nothing else to say about it because it's just Kurt doing stupid stuff and making the world a better place. And it's a very stress-free, like comfort anime sort of thing. It is by no means art. It is by no means peak entertainment, but it's enjoyable. Noble on the Brink of Ruin was literally the same show last season. There were a couple of them that were like that last season. But yes, you are correct. The last couple of seasons have had a lot of stories about these sort of betrayal things. It seems like it's becoming the new like popular trope like isekai. So Atelier Meister is going to stay there. And let's move down the line to one of the most controversial anime of the week. The beginning after the end. Oh God. I'm almost tempted to drop this anime because it is so mid. It is so perfectly mid that there's almost no reason to watch it. Like a bad anime can be fun to watch just because it's bad, like Dinner Table Detective, which I am going to watch dub because the Dinner Table dub, the Dinner Table Detective dub is like horrendously bad, but that makes it almost hilarious because it sounds like a porn parody. And the writing is just absolutely fucking wild. But yes, it did pivot from the Mushoku Tensei template in this. A decent bit. I can't even say Koshien right. And the dog is attempting to venture out of the room. Bye-bye. Okay. He's probably going back to his mat. Jeremy Turner has gifted 5 Crimson Law memberships. Let me highlight that. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I like money. I like money. And that has earned you 1. Where is it? I need to have this on a... There we go. There we go. So we got Star Wars Marvel Purist has received a membership. Ronnie has received a membership. 22. Mint. The Questioners. So there we go. So now we'll move back to talking about Temu Tensei, the terribly inferior version of how this story goes. Will it get better over time? Supposedly. But I have genuinely not seen anything in this show that makes me even remotely interested in it. One of the big issues I have with this is, like, compared to the beginning of Mushoku Tensei, is that with Mushoku Tensei, you actually got a lot of time spent with the family and a lot of like onboarding as to their relationship and their importance to the story, and you see them very involved actually with Rudy. You do not see that as much with Arthur Lewin. And honestly, it doesn't sell the parents and their relationship with their child as well as Mushoku Tensei did. The other issue that I have with it is that, well, Arthur's pretty much a Mary Sue. Because at least when it came to Mushoku Tensei, it showed you a lot, and I mean a lot, of Rudy's training and the effort he actually put into learning magic. Now, they did speed through a couple of years of him training. I'll give you that. But Arthur basically comes to this world equipped with everything he needs to be overpowered. He instantly understands how to use mana and all that. So, like, Mary Sue character. And again, like, that, it doesn't make a good family dynamic like Mushoku Tensei did. I mean, it's really hard to think of this as anything other than a inferior Mushoku Tensei, especially when the animation is on par with the fucking doujins I look up at night, okay? Yeah, there are some, like, interesting elements to it. They like occasionally you get this tiny little nugget of something cool in there. This tiny little thing, like, oh, that's an interesting element of world building. Like, healers are very valuable, so they hide away for their privacy. Cool. It is. Occasionally you'll get something good like that, but, like, they have failed at, like, establishing any, like, meaningful connections for the characters. They have really failed at doing anything that, like, makes me want to, like, invest in the characters' lives or pay attention to them. They've failed at making me do doing anything to make me want to sit and watch the anime. Like, there is nothing about this show that I think is worth a damn. Now, it isn't horrendous. It could be worse. Given some better animation, the story could probably do better. But I think that they have... Studio A-Cat has basically rushed through a couple of things that they should have taken their time on. And they've done a terrible job with the animation. I have not been impressed with anything in this story so far. Like, this is rightfully getting dragged. I don't care how much potential it has 50 chapters down the line. The issues I have now are that nothing here, where you're setting up the foundation for your entire series, has me interested. What did I actually end up, like, rating it on my anime list? Still coughing a little bit. The beginning after the end, 5. I give it a 5. So the beginning after the end is going to stay all the way at the bottom of my ratings for now, because it's not good. It's just genuinely not fun to watch. I don't care. Whew, okay. Let's move on from that. So that is the beginning after the end. Now let's talk about Catch Me in the Ballpark, which I had set as interesting. I'm going to move it up one because this episode was fun. We got the whole like Instagram account thing. That was kind of interesting. We also meet one of the players' wives, and we get the whole food court girl side arc that happens. It's all in all a very funny thing. I particularly enjoyed the Instagram thing, because it was effectively her like absolutely like shutting down these like pickup artists and just being like, nah, I don't want anything to do with you. Nah, I don't want anything to do with you. Nah, I don't want anything to do with you. And then as the moment she found out they knew how to run an Instagram account, she was like, all right, you know what? Maybe I will pay attention to you a little bit. I see we have Biggle saying, I love this anime and I unapologetically love this show. I mean, it's fun. It's a good watch. I just find some of the things a little bit like fast paced sometimes. I feel like they might be cramming a little bit, but so be it. It's not a bad show. Sorry, I got a message from my brother saying that he completely forgot I was streaming today. Here is the message, and I quote, "Forgot about your stream," and almost shouted at full volume, because he's right below me right now, "Good morning, Vietnam." There we go. So yeah, Catch Me at the Ballpark does move up a slot. I think it probably could be better. It isn't really in my wheelhouse since I'm not really like invested in like sports or baseball or anything. But it is by far not the word. Like, it is by far not a bad experience to watch. It's a fun workplace comedy, if anything. You guys are fucking passing sauce in my chat. I approve. I approve of this. So we'll move on with The Quest. To please put them on Miss Takamine. Oh boy. Well, here's crossing my fingers, hoping nobody I know is actually watching this right now, because, well, now I have to explain what the fuck I'm watching. So this one, I'm actually moving up. Oh god. This is one of the very, very few ecchi anime that I actually respect the writing for. Like, one of the very few ecchi anime that is good. Okay, if you're giving a code like that, I probably would look that up with an incognito tab, yes. Pardon? Okay, back to the anime. So please put them on Miss Takamine. I mean, we get the first protag Kun test. He is effectively forced to go and replace her underwear in the middle of class, and she's effectively just making sure that he'll do anything regardless and do his job as the closet. Keep in mind, he's still being held hostage by her supernatural power to undo events by taking her underwear off. God, I fucking love anime sometimes. Yes. So that is it's basically a numeric code that allows you to search up hentai doujin. That one basically takes you to a specific one. do with that information what you will. Oh, yes. So, what I did like about this episode of Please Put Them On, Miss Takamine, is we actually did get like a decent bit of like her showing her true colors. Um I need to stop reading this and just focus on what I'm talking about. So she's actually like showing she has some sort of like care for Protag Kun, because I can't bother to remember his name for some reason. And she actually is sort of like concerned, and she isn't unreasonable and isn't like super abusive. She is a bit like dominant, so yeah, that's a thing. But she is, this is where I like started to say like she does show some like interest in him overall, and she is a little bit more innocent than what you would expect. And I argue that this is really like what good ecchi ends up being, is you actually have a show with like a plot and some actual like decent writing and character development, on top of the fan service and more explicit stuff. That part of it is just like the finishing touch for it. 2.5D Seduction and Miss Takamine are effectively the two that I would really say are like ecchi that I think are worth watching, because they actually seem to have proper writing to them. Other ones just aren't really up there because they focus so much on enabling the fan service element of it that they forget to actually write a good story. Well, her ability is called Virgin Road after all, so still innocent to a degree. What I mean is that like she's not like a complete pervert, and there still are certain things that do like make her shy, like in mentally more than physically is what I meant that as. She doesn't go around completely behaving like a slut is what I say. Everything's better than Beihei Neko, okay? Everything. I can't think of what anime well, actually, Tokyo Revengers, Rent a Girlfriend. I hate those more than Beihei Neko. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this one up here for now because I thought this episode was good. We get a little bit more depth to the character. We get some fun stuff, and well, you know, the usual fan servicey things that you would expect from an ecchi. What is your problem? Beihei Neko sucks. All right. 2 Perfect Saint. Let's move on to that one because this is another one that I watched last week. Yes, I know you like to troll me, Biggles. Don't think I don't see your comments, okay? You know what? I completely forgot that Unikai-san's dog existed. I completely forgot that that fucking insane anime was a thing. So 2 Perfect Saint. So in this one, we get to see like Philia is very, very, very good at her job. Hello, JM. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And so good, in fact, that she was doing the job of like multiple people all at once. To the point where the moment that they got rid of her from the kingdom, she was like everything started to collapse. So the previous kingdom falling apart, and the sister being on the verge of going to war because she's finally starting to realize that her elder sister was effectively kicked out of the kingdom, I thought that was a really good one. I thought that was really good work. So I'm actually moving this one up to the top of interesting because the second episode gave me a lot of what I was hoping for. On the Philia front, we get to see a lot of her, a lot of just like, a lot of like the comfort stuff of her finally getting like appreciation for all the work she does and being very, very effective at what she does and very effortlessly dealing with the problems that this new country is facing. And on the back end, at the very end, we do see Mia being the one who is like, if they really stabbed my sister in the back over all this, I'm going to go to war with people. And their heads are going to roll. So overall, very satisfying episode, if you ask me. So it's moving up to the top of the interesting category. And yes, I do think you should definitely smash the like button. Hit it like this. You gotta be careful not to play too much of that because that's a long clip. And I don't want to get completely... I remember Ivan's soul dying in his eyes when he watched Inukai Sanzo. I apologize for the cough. Like, genuinely. Apparently, it's still bugging me. Yes, look... There's a lot of things about Ivan that I think are goofy, but the one thing is that like he actually followed through and watched that whole thing and was dedicated to just like, well, I'm this far in. We need to continue to bully the man into watching interspecies reviewers. Like, bully the man. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna keep moving on down the line. To Brilliant Healer, the Brilliant Healer's new life in the shadows. Ivan's a man of his word. You gotta respect it. Okay. So the Brilliant Healer's new life in the shadow is objectively shit. It is objectively a boring mid-fucking anime. But for some reason, I get a kick out of watching this boring mid-ish shit anime. For no other reason than it's just dumb fun. Like, there are, like, random moments where the animation is actually, like, somewhat interesting. And in this episode, we do get the backstory for, like, how he got kicked out of his party and how he became an underground healer and all that and how he got his clinic and how he actually met the 3 leaders of the underworld in his region and why they all decide to now hang out at his house. I think particularly the highlight of this episode was actually the werewolf people coming in and just like fucking shit up. And like every time they try to attack him or part of the house, like everything goes wrong for them. And yes, I absolutely agree. They should have started with this episode. Because this episode is much more fun to watch than the last one. Like, for whatever reason, it is a much better experience if you watch episode 2 and then episode 1. Still mid, but much better than the first one, yes. No, I agree. It is an objectively, like, middling anime. Like, its story is generic. Its characters aren't really anything to, like, be really, really impressed by. But for some reason, I just enjoy it because it is dumb. And there are stupid things about it that I find funny. Aw, man, look at this mid up in here shaking my head. Hey, Arceus, how you doing? So, yeah, as far as Brilliant Healer goes, I'm going to continue watching it because I personally enjoy it, but I will not sell it to anyone as anything other than a shit fantasy. It like there is so far there have been no real redeeming qualities to it. It is just yeesh. I like the Wraith Girl. Yep. Brilliant Healer is peak. So when it comes to Arceus's taste, you can effectively just like take my entire list here and flip it upside down, and that's effectively his taste. We're like complete and perfect opposites for some reason. You were excited for this one too? Huh. All right. So we'll keep moving on because the Apothecary Diaries is next. Oh, I forgot to check that one out. That was like the one that I didn't get to. I will do so tomorrow. Or I will attempt to tomorrow. But I have not watched Apocalypse Hotel. Okay. So we did Brilliant Healer, the Apothecary Diaries. So in this episode, it like really makes me feel bad for Concubine Lishu, because like there is nothing about her life that seems enjoyable. Like she lost her mother, she was effectively sent to the Rear Palace as a child because the previous emperor was a word that I will not say, not here. And all of her ladies in waiting seem to just absolutely hate her and like bully the shit out of her. So like her life is just depressing as fuck. But we do get a fun little like ghost story sort of mystery that gives us some background into her character and gives us something a little bit more interesting out of her. A little tiny bit of character development of her like freaking out and being very like assertive towards her ladies in waiting over the mirror. I did like that part. And now we're kind of getting into some other very interesting parts of the story. And they end on a cliffhanger because now Xiaolan is potentially in some serious trouble. And of course, we are 3 episodes removed from the frog, and Mao Mao still can't get it out of her head. The moderately impressive frog. Yes, the ladies in waiting are they're bitches. All her attendants are cunts. That's a thing. I was waiting for Mao Mao to put the fear of God into those girls like she did in the Crystal Pavilion. Yes. Honestly, I would have liked to see that. But it seems more like Jinshi was the one to do it. When he removed their hairpin. Slap them bitches back into line. So yeah, this episode of the Apothecary Diaries continuing to prove why this is one of the best shows coming out this season. Because, I mean, I don't think there has been anything that really tops the Apothecary Diaries. It's just good. It's good! Okay. I don't really have a whole lot else to say on that because if I get too detailed with it, it kind of feels like I'll ruin some of the fun of it, so we'll just leave it there. Yeah, it was pretty good. It gave her the pimp hand and told her to know her place. I like that. Okay. Now let's talk Fire Force. Things happened. It was an episode, okay? Now, admittedly, like, I'm a little bit lost because it's been a while since I've watched Fire Force, but I'm sort of like picking things back up and like trying to remember everything that's going With this, I do like that we're getting the Joker team up. That part is cool, and it looks like we'll probably be seeing some of the other branches joining in on the fight, and this might become a whole like civil war. That could be fun, but right now we're in the midst of the prison. We're in the midst of a prison break. Really, it's just kind of like set up for the more action-packed stuff, and that's why I think things happened. It was an episode. Things happened. It was an episode. Yes, you've already quoted me on that, so okay. I did like this episode. I enjoyed it, but I won't be moving this very much because I don't particularly think of Fire Force as like this amazingly written shonen. It's fun. It has some intriguing points to it, and it is creative with its powers and all of that. And some of the characters are pretty interesting, particularly Arthur Boyle, because who doesn't like the delusional knight? But otherwise, like, I don't find it like super amazing. It's fun to watch, but it's not super amazing. It's one that I do like, though. Fire Force, okay. Let's go with your Forma. I don't know how to feel about this one still. Because I feel like this anime, when it comes to mystery and stuff, it focuses more so on other things than the mystery that it should be like actually working to resolve. I like the concept. There's a lot of cool things that make me really, really want to see this anime through. But I just don't think it's been doing good on its delivery. Which one? Your Forma. I'm going to continue watching it because there are some interesting points, but it felt like this episode spent a lot of time dealing with like things that weren't directly related to the mystery. And I kind of feel the same way, Marcel. I think that's a good way of describing it. I like the topic, but I'm not really hooked yet. It is a mystery series involving jumping into people's brains to read their memories and android murder suspects. Yeah. Detective with a robot partner. Yeah, that's a pretty good description of it. A detective with a robot partner who is racist against robots. It felt like it spent too much time doing the character drama part of it and not enough time on the actual mystery of it. So, there's a lot of like unexplained tension in it, and its mysteries end up feeling pretty bland. So overall, this one's going to stay in okay until I get something that is really, really good. I am also a racist against robots and filthy fucking goblins. Damn, son, damn. Damn! Okay, so that is your Forma. We'll continue on to Kowloon Generic Romance. And this one continues to leave me like completely baffled as to what is going on. And I like that about it. I do like the romance element of it, but the like underlying like confusion of the mystery and those things that just sort of like eat away at you at the back of your mind as to like what's actually going on here. I think it's a very good experience. Now, I will acknowledge all of the issues that people have been stating online with this one. And where there's smoke, there's fire. I think there's a little bit of credibility. A lot of manga readers, in addition to like some of the rumors that were going around last week that I largely ignored. There was the issue with this one of like people were talking about it's going to be a 13 episode complete adaptation. And then manga readers were effectively backing this theory up with the fact that the first episode was effectively the first volume of the manga crammed into one episode, which, if true, that seems like there's like you're gonna screw yourself. But as like an anime only, I think it's been pretty good. I've liked it a lot so far, like really liked it. And yeah, this one again leaves you with a huge what the fuck moment right at the end. Like they keep hitting you with these things that just like kind of answer some questions, but leave you with more than you would ever expect. I think it's overall good stuff. And there are a couple of theories you can go with this, to the point of like Reiko might not even exist. Like she might not even be a real person. Which is a wild thing to think about. But it overall has me very intrigued. I do like it a lot. Continuing on. So we're moving this one up like I expected, because this week, Sword of the Demon Hunter did really, really good. I thought it got better with this episode. I think Jinya's relationship with Suzune makes a whole lot more sense now. There are a lot of like read between the lines sort of moments that happen in this episode that give you a lot of context as to what the hell is going on, or like how Jinya ended up in his position in the first place and what exactly is going on. This was a very, very good episode for the series. I keep hearing my own voice somewhere. If you guys hear me echoing? Hello? Anyway. I'm banking on the replacement shit like that Ewan McGregor ScarJo movie a while back. Huh. Okay. Sword of the Demon Hunter is pretty good, really intriguing, and I want to keep watching. I actually recommended it to a friend today over lunch. You know, the lunch I was saying at the beginning of the stream that I fumbled every speech check at. I went and recommended Lazarus and Sword of the Demon Hunter. Weird. Because I keep hearing something somewhere. Oh well. I like Lazarus, but we'll get to that in a bit. As far as this episode goes, I really like the as far as like Sword of the Demon Hunter goes, I really liked this episode. It does really good with the like little bits of action it has. Its storytelling and writing are very good. And like I said, there's a lot of things where you read between the lines and you figure out like exactly what is going on, what happened, and why all of this like came to the point that it is. Like, whew, that was intense. That was an experience. And this is probably going to end up like being one of my like. This will probably end up being like a top 3 if it continues at this trajectory. Like it's just genuinely a good show. Is super solid. I like the direction it's going, and the pacing of the info dump has been great. Yeah, we've gotten a lot about the world and effectively what is like 3.5 episodes worth of time. It's done a great job of setting all of this stuff up. So, top-notch anime this season. Moving along. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? Okay. So I mentioned this last week where I saw the demon rearing its head, the overly melodramatic love triangle was going to be a big part of this. This show might have to downgrade for now because I don't like the direction the direction that it's got. Like I said, already detecting the POS love triangle thing happening. I honestly like the blue girl. I think she's funny, and her energetic personality is entertaining to me. But it's clear that all of this is her love troubles are going to be her own problem, and that is one of the most frustrating things to me. Is she's effectively just going to create her own problem, and then she's going to be like all upset that she created the problem. I think it really should focus more on the Chaos Gremlin childhood friend, but right now, with the way it's going, if they actually do that, well, I think you're going to end up with a lot of unnecessary drama in the series, and people aren't really going to be fans of that. So, yeah, it seems like it will be. Also, normally I would root for the childhood friend, not this time. I don't really know who I want to root for yet, because there is the part of me that wants to root for the childhood friend. But at the same time, in this show, she is the one doing this to herself. And I can't help but have a problem with her creating the problem that she is going to go through. Himari is I believe Himari is the blue-haired girl. Why do I not know this? Can a boy-girl friendship survive? 7.34. Yeah, Himari is the blue-haired girl. It's kind of I want to like this one because it had a really, really good first episode, but love triangles, especially with the overly dramatic, overly complicated love triangles, really annoy me. I think both characters are really well written. And like I said, I want to like this series, so I'm going to continue on with it, and I'll probably continue to like it. I'm just really, really frustrated that people like to use this trope to try and inject drama or tension into their romance series. It doesn't need that sort of a thing. Pressing on. So yeah, this one's going to sit at the top of interesting for now because, well, actually, I want to move it below Two Perfect Saint because I actually do like Two Perfect Saint. So this one's going down to the interesting category because I didn't really care much for it. This show reminds me too much of my high school. Yeah. If they do more stuff with Himari and more chaos, comedy stuff with her at the center, I'll probably like it more. Please show more of the other girl choking Himari out. Please, because that is funny. Let's move on to Yaiba. I thought this episode of Yaiba was actually really good. I like this episode's big fight between Onimaru and Yaiba. It was very fun to watch that part of it. I thought it was hilarious, especially with the way it resolved. The whole thing through was a very it did a really good job of balancing the fact that this is a serious fight and they're really going at each other, and at the same time being comedic and fun to watch. It was a really good thing. Yaiba as a character is funny, but him being like immature I can see people getting annoyed with. Overall, I think this one is very fun to watch. I just like the way they ended this episode feels like they might be progressing a little too fast because now the rival character has this like power up at like episode 2, really. And that seems a little fast to be happening. That seems like something you should do at like the middle of the season. Reminded me a bit of Ranma with its over-the-top action. Yeah, actually, I can see that. But I always think of like old Dragon Ball. Biggles. Which watch came out after I did my tier list last week? It came out on Sunday. So I'm putting it on the tier list this week. And right now, I'm going through all the stuff that I've already watched. So chill. Cool your titties, boy. So with Yaiba, I actually do want to move it up to the top of very good right now because this is probably my like favorite in this category. It was a good show, one that I thought was absolutely worth the time to watch, and I'm looking forward to more. I'm just kind of worried about the pacing of it. Witch Watch is right here. We'll get to Witch Watch, don't worry. It's on here. We're going to talk about it. All right. So that was Yaiba. Dinner Table Detective. This one is a much better experience with the sub, and I did watch that this week just to see. It feels like a proper show. When you watch it in the subbed version. But I'm still terribly unimpressed with the writing of this show. Now, we do find out that the girl we thought got murdered in the last episode actually didn't. She's still alive. So she didn't just bleed out on the floor, but that doesn't change the fact that the characters still aren't very interesting. I'm not invested in the story. Nothing, the mysteries aren't even that great. Like, they're very bland mysteries. Also, Biggles with the 3-month membership. This is a Biggles anime, pure trash, but so fun. Is the mic hot? Huh. Interesting. Let me check something. Yes, I do agree. It is absolutely meh overall. Oh, I misread that. I had a dyslexic moment. Okay. Oh, I'm glad the mic's not hot because that would have been a problem. Okay, let's get back to this. So, Dinner Table Detective, I'm gonna keep watching it because the dub is like a bad hentai dub. That is the only thing I could think of, and that alone will make it worth watching to me because it will be painfully bad and hilarious because of that. Like, that is the only amount of enjoyment I will get out of this anime. It's just a painfully bad dub. Otherwise, literally everything else kind of sucks about this anime. It literally sounds like, what are you doing, step bro, when you fucking listen to the sub. So that's Dinner Table Detective. And we have 2 more, actually 3 more before we get to the new stuff. So let's talk about A Rank Party. I think we got some very, very significant lore drops with this most recent episode. We got some very cool things happening. What the hell? Sorry. My phone going off because I forgot to mute it earlier. Okay. Like we're saying, the dub is so hilariously bad, it's almost funny to watch it. So yeah, A rank party. There was a cute scene with Rain in A rank party that I did really like. We got some really cool lore drops and some like interesting developments of like the what happened inside this dungeon to these people and all this stuff. And we see some new things that Yuke might be applying to his magic in the near future because he learned some otherworldly techniques while doing all this. You are forgiven, don't worry, no one is being held hostage. But yeah, A rank did make up for last week. I do like the elf girl, but well, I do generally prefer elves. That isn't always like the solid rule. Like, I like my elves. I do like Silk. But I also like Rain in this series. I don't know why everyone has it out for Rain. Like, what is a what does everyone have against this woman? Like, what did she do? And this one is one that's become like progressively better over like every episode. And developed a very interesting world with some very interesting implications and has the potential to do some really, really cool stuff in the near future. So, go make your fucking dinner, boy. Nobody asked for your opinion, Pickles. Save it for your show on Monday. So yes. It looks like this arc might be coming to an end here, though. And we may be getting like a close to this whole dungeon thing. And I'm really curious to see where they're going to take all of this next and what they're actually going to do with it. All right. Paul Greyrat reincarnation. Oh, no, I skipped one. Shoshimin. We got to talk about Shoshimin. I'm not going to move this one because while I did like what it's setting up, I don't know if I would move it around compared to the other things that are on this list right next to it. I am questioning what the hell Osanai is up to because I mean they're making it very, very clear that she is the one starting all the fires. So why? I mean, I do get it. She's always kind of had like a bit of a yandere streak in her, and she can be like pretty manipulative and all that. But like, what does she gain from all of this? That is the big question. And is Kobato now in some sort of like relationship trouble because his girl is like questioning him and all that? Like, I'm confused at this point. Like, it's been almost like 6 or 7 months since the end of season 1, and I'm confused as to what exactly is going on here. But I do enjoy it nonetheless because I do like this author's works, and I think this is a pretty good one. It's a me thing, so I respect anyone who doesn't really want to watch it or finds it boring, but I enjoy it. So I'm going to continue watching it and talking about it. It's going to stay there. And then we have Master Swordsman. So we get some good backstory to the characters, and we get some interesting stuff to help develop them. The animation in this is significantly better than the beginning after the end, and this is just this almost feels like it's supposed to be just a throwaway fantasy, and it still has better animation than one of the most highly anticipated manhwa adaptations to come out. And of course, now we have like the actual Magic Law League coming in and starting a fight, which will be interesting. I do like that they actually show some like real like swordsmanship in this, and that the fights aren't terrible. But it is really just sort of an interesting category 1. I don't think it'll ever make it beyond this because there just really isn't anything that I think it has that it could throw at me that would really, really impress me. It's getting really close to I Parry Everything, which isn't a good thing. I liked I Parry Everything, but I wouldn't want this to become another power fantasy like that. It's not bad, it's not great. Of course, all of the women are just like into the older dude for whatever reason. All right, so now we can move into the new stuff. We can talk about some of the things that are new to the week. All right, so Witch Watch. Must watch. Witch Watch is great. I love it. Now, this wasn't like a to be fair, many women have daddy issues. Sure, yeah, that's actually true. The main character being the weakest part of the show is tough. Yeah, pretty much. But I don't mind him. But back to Witch Watch. It's not a gut buster like I'd expected with the first episode, but it was still funny and still something I really enjoyed. I liked the animation style. I liked the storytelling and the characters, the magic. This is just a genuinely good show. And I've been told by someone who's actually seen the first 3 episodes already in theaters that the first episode is the weakest of the 3 they had seen. So if that's the weakest, I'm really hoping that the next episode is really, really good. This one is just great. I have nothing but praise for this one. The silly romance plot, the fun lightheartedness of it, the creativity with some of the magic and stuff and how they use it for the comedy. It's great. I love it. Absolute must watch. One of my favorites this season. Laughed my ass off the whole episode. The paper thin shtick was fantastic. Yes, all of it was really fun. I can understand the anticipation, and I am glad that I actually had this on my radar because this one was genuinely worth it. Okay. So let's talk about the next new one because there really isn't much else to say now that we're on episode 5. Or we're on not episode 5. We're still on episode 1. Right, Muffler? The Gorilla God's go-to girl. It's mid. Now, I said this the other night, but the fact that this show has a character who has the same name as me is kind of funny. But that's not gonna fucking save anything. The girl in this show isn't interesting, and it is very, very bad shoujo IMO. The exams for this make 0 sense. This chick just busted a hole through a wall and does all this ridiculous stuff, and nobody is batting an eye at the fact that all this crazy stuff is happening. I am terribly unimpressed. I'm doing a minimum of 3 episodes on everything this season. To see if I get anything that actually does tickle my fancy, so to speak. And it will have to be egregiously bad in order for me to break that rule. It had some interesting potential to it, but like I said, I'm not really terribly interested in the main character. It just feels like she is a sort of worse version of Uka Ishimori from last season. So Honey Lemon Soda, the main character. And it focuses a lot on like introducing these potential like relationship routes that I just don't really care for. It's I don't know. It feels like it's trying to be a battle shoujo. Like what the hell? Like an action shoujo anime. What the hell is this? Shake it once, that's fine. Shake it once, shake it twice, that's fine. Shake it 3 times, you're playing with yourself again. I believe those are the lyrics. Yeah. So yeah, that one's going in the okay category. It's getting 3 episodes. If it doesn't impress me, we'll probably end up dropping it. So yeah, Gorilla God, kind of just okay. This one might end up like actually being like one of my hotter takes for the season. But I actually do like the Anne Shirley anime. Like I legitimately do. A lot of people I've seen seem to think that Anne is really annoying, but there are multiple things about this that I find absolutely fascinating. Taking a like piece of classic literature and adapting it into an anime, that one side of it makes me intrigued and want to watch it. I do like its art style and the way it's been animated so far. I think they've done pretty good with that. And as far as the characters go, I don't find Anne annoying whatsoever, and I actually sort of like the already like growing family dynamic with it. Like the Cuthberts just like being like good people in spite of like the sister being kind of a hard ass. I actually do kind of agree with this, as far as like the hair thing. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's a disservice to have the hair like tied up in like braids like that. It just doesn't look as good as when she has it let down. I do really like this show, and I can see why a lot of people might not like it, but I do. So far, I've enjoyed it. I thought it's been fun, especially with like them sort of preserving some of like the same style that this would have been written in originally as like the novel, with the speech patterns and everything, and the way the characters talk and express themselves. It really is very over the top, but in this, it does work very well because it's anime, and anime has always been really over the top. So actually, I really enjoy this one. I think it's fun. And now there are 2 episodes out, so I'm rating 2 episodes on this one. And like I thought that first episode was really good. It does a lot of like the slice of life stuff, but that is, the Anne of Green Gables thing, and is basically just like her growing up. It is probably one of the more unique ones just because of what it is. So I'm keeping that one there for right now. I've liked it so far. Okay. So we've done Anne Shirley. Let's talk about Makina-san is a love bot. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Where to start with this one? So they're short episodes. They're like 11 minutes a piece. And I don't have a problem with that, but like the story for this is kind of just eh. And the main character is some like shy nerd, and I'm really like not interested whatsoever in anything that he's doing. Like I don't care about him. However, I think there could be like it's still like not the worst ecchi I've ever watched, so I'm gonna put it all the way at the bottom of the interesting category. Like they do actually show some like proper stuff. So at least there's that. We didn't get like the headlight censorship like we did with Yandere Dark Elf. But with this one, like, I don't know, I prefer story over fan service, and this one just doesn't really give like a good story. It is really just an excuse for the whole sex bot thing that is effectively the main shtick of this show. But it isn't horrendous, so you know what? Okay. Whatever. It is what it is. Now we're getting to peak. You had me at the thumbnail. TikTok episodes. They're not TikTok episodes because they're still over 10 minutes, but it is what it is. So that one's just kind of one of the throwaway ones that I'm watching just because. An assassin and a ninja under the same roof, though, is another one that I do really like. And I'm putting that in the very good category. Because I actually really enjoy this one because it is stupid and absolutely just doesn't take itself seriously. Yet, it still has really, really good animation for some reason. Like, this show had no right to be as well animated as it was. But for some reason, the team behind it just said, you know what? We're going to pop off for this. So effectively, the premise of this one is that, you have this failure of a ninja whose only ability is to make corpses disappear into leaves. And this assassin girl who really, really wants to be like at the top of the rankings of assassins. And her whole issue is just trying to like clean up the job site and like being a total slob at home. So effectively, it's just two girls living under the same roof while the assassin does all the killing and the hardcore stuff. And the ninja is just, being a housemaid. The ninja is the housewife in this one. So that one is kind of funny. Should have done better at describing what some of these are actually about. But which show was this? It is called A Ninja and an Assassin Under One Roof. It's goofy, it's fun, I really do enjoy it. Like, it's genuinely just a fun show to watch. At least for the first episode. Who knows what the next couple of episodes are going to be like. They have some very interesting animation choices, but I do like them overall. Okay. Let's talk about Lazarus now. Oh, wait, no, there was one more thing I did want to mention with this. It's very, very fast-paced. Like, very fast-paced. But overall, I think it works for this show because this show is just, like... It moves like it is like a runaway train at times. But Lazarus, we're on Lazarus. Okay. I like episode 1 of Lazarus. I really do. We're going to see where it goes. I like the animation for this whole elongated chase scene. I like the kind of story that they're setting up, and so far the characters that they've used. We haven't gotten really a whole lot to them, but I do think this one does have potential to be one of my favorites for the season. So it's going in the very good category right now. Like, this one is not as good as Cowboy Bebop. But still a solid concept and a great series overall, if you ask me. One that I think will, if it gets the proper treatment, will catch on a whole lot more. The assassin girl is a real bitch. It is funny, though, yes. It is funny. I don't have much else to say about it because since it spent so much time on, like, the chase scene and all that, I'm not going to get into, like, minute details of, like, things I like, but, like, I feel like the cast has good chemistry so far. I feel like the animation has been solid, and the plot so far is interesting enough to keep me going. So that's Lazarus. Now we have Yandere Dark Elf. I'm going to put this right here specifically because when it comes to Yandere Dark Elf, well, I like elves, okay? That is the driving factor in this, but it probably would have been higher if not for the fact that it had been heavily censored. And it's a high dive one. Why does Crunchyroll get the uncensored one, but High Dive gets the censored one? What's going on here? What happened there? But this again is like 11-minute episodes. It's a little bit of like, I don't know. I mean, Yandere is cool. I don't mind them, but they can be a little bit overbearing at times and a little bit annoying. Noted. Let me hold on a second. Let me take a photo of the code. And yes, I actually did just take a photo of that code. Dark Elf was rough. Your prejudice is showing, Crimson. Yes. My prejudice. That's... No, I'm not gonna make that joke. I'm not gonna... No. Get the uncensored version on the season. The thing is, I couldn't find the uncensored version anywhere I looked. It was weird. I'll have to check. I'll have to double check and see if anything else comes out about it. But it would be much better if it were uncensored. Okay then. Alrighty then. It's okay. I like the Elf Girl censored womp womp. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Like, it's an interesting show, but I don't know. Could have been better if they hadn't censored it. Aharon-san is Incomprehensible Season 2. I'm putting this in the interesting category, the very top of the interesting category. How is it elf prejudice when I actively like elves? When I'm actively awarding points for elves? That ain't prejudice, that's fucking favoritism, okay? I don't hate any group. I just like elves. What the fuck are you on, Pilgrim? Fuck off. Okay, so Aharon Season 2. So we get a new character. This episode was kind of just the same shenanigans that you would expect out of the series if you have watched it so far. The new girl is one of the old friends that Aharon tried to make back in her previous school career, but never ended up actually being able to connect with because she was very overbearing. But the new character in this show is just as wild as everyone else. What would you expect? Overall, I did like it. It's kind of the same silly shenanigans I liked about the first season. So it's going in the interesting category, but I wouldn't say it's something super amazing. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is S tier, top tier, ultimate ever romance kind of stuff. No, it's fun. It's silly. And it's something you would sit down and binge and be like, you know what? That was fun. All elves he likes are actually traps. This is objectively false. Like, completely. Like, that is slander to the highest degree. And I don't appreciate this sort of retardation because that is not allowed. You're not allowed to say shit like that. He's timed out for 1 minute, okay? He is timed out for 1 minute. He will be back in exactly 1 minute. Uh, to answer your question, oh, I'm on the wrong thing. To answer your question, Muffler Tape, yes, I have watched a little bit of Interspecies Reviewers, but I never watched the whole thing. I don't know. I watched part of it, wasn't really interested, and dipped. All right, so Vigilantes, My Hero Academia, Vigilantes. Where do I put this one? I think I'm putting this one in the very good category, at the very, very bottom of the very, very good category, because I did enjoy this. It's not quite the same experience as like the original My Hero Academia, but I do like the story. Quit being a fucking retard. Like, don't you have some fucking like semantical argument to go have with your friends for like 5 hours, dude? Don't you have a definition to argue over for an entire video? Okay, My Hero Academia, Vigilantes. I like that they're taking like a more crime fighter approach to it, and they're dealing with something that is kind of like smaller than like I don't know, world-ending things. Very interesting choice in like tame powers or anything. My Hero Academia Vigilantes is a prequel, so this takes place before the beginning of My Hero Academia, and you can tell because you actually see Izuku Midoriya's mom in a much younger part of her life in this, and also Prime All Might. So, So yeah, I like the character writing in this so far. I like that they have some like really like unique powers with this that they're giving the main characters. And of course there is Pop Step. And I mean, after that display, how can you not really like, be into that? Overall a good experience. I don't know if it's as good as like the original My Hero Academia experience, but I do like it. It's fun. Okay? I'm happy with it. I like the art style to it and the animation style. I hope that we get some more good stuff out of it. No, it shouldn't mess up anything with the main timeline. Not to my knowledge, anyway. All right, 2 more. We got 2 more. Let's do Summer Pockets. So there are some like genuinely funny what the fuck moments in this one. Like some like really just random like hilarious things to me. Like the shirtless hunt. That was funny. And we get the girl trying to swim but absolutely failing at it. Otherwise, like, what the hell is up with this anime? Like, I'm so lost, like, as to what's going on. Like, there are so many absurd things in here. Like, what? There's a blue fox or whatever. I mean, there's the whole joke about the dude being aggressive eventually, and I'm intrigued, but I'm also kind of scared to touch it at the same time because, like, well, I don't know where it's going. I'm trying to get a grasp on what this series is actually supposed to be. Like, I'm genuinely a little bit like concerned as to like what's going on with it. There are some things that just don't make sense about it. I don't even know what the plot is supposed to be about. Some guy goes to like clean out his grandmother's storage shed on a distant island because no one else in his family will, and all of a sudden he's spending an entire summer vacation on the island, and he like almost drowned in a pool or something, and I don't know what's going on with this one. I'm lost. I'm genuinely lost. But that brings us to the end of the list with Moonrise. So with Moonrise, I'm interested. In fact, I'm very interested. I thought this was the whole series is out right now. But I haven't watched it. I've watched the first episode, so that's all I can judge this on. And as far as Moonrise goes, I liked the very first episode. I thought it was interesting. I mean, effectively, you have the moon sort of declaring their independence from Earth, and there is something weird going on with like the main character's like long lost brother or something. And now they got to go. The main character has to go save the moon, and like, I like the character designs. They were done by the creator of My Hero Academia, I believe, or not My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist. They were done by the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, so I'm intrigued to see as to like, I'm intrigued by them. I do like them overall. The character writing, I don't think I've seen enough yet to really like make a full judgment, but the main character kind of seems like a piece of shit. Like, I didn't really care much for him. Otherwise, I like the action in it. Gourmet anime? Do you mean Food for the Soul? I don't think I've watched that one. No. But if you want me to put it on the list, so be it. I'll check it out for next week. So I have Apocalypse Hotel and Food for the Soul. Confirm on that if that's the one you're actually talking about. Hotel and Food for the Soul. Let's see if there is anything that I can find here really quick. I don't want to do that. Okay, there we go. I found the first episode of that. And then let's see if we can find Apocalypse Hotel so I can pull up a tab for it so I don't lose track of these. Apocalypse Hotel. Okay. Let's go to subbed A P A M N A O A P, Apocalypse Hotel English subbed. All right, we'll watch those two. I will put those two on the list for the next week. No guarantee they'll stay on the list, but they will be put on as just audience suggestions. I'll at least give them a shot. Hopefully next week I will also be caught up on Windbreaker, because I am 8 episodes into Windbreaker now, and I've really, really liked it. But overall, this is what I'm looking at as far as anime goes. We'll probably watch some of the stuff drop out as we get deeper into the season. And this will potentially thin out into like a more even distribution. But right now, from what I've seen, this is how I feel about a lot of this stuff. kind of sad that like the two like detective options that happened this season, like that are new this season, haven't really been all that great. Guess we can remove this. I can take my screenshot of this. The 3-episode rule is fair. No, not really. Windbreaker is effectively like a delinquent gangs anime. So basically a bunch of high schoolers getting into street brawls. And it's pretty good, actually. I mean, if you want to watch a bunch of retarded kids punch each other in the face, this is definitely the anime for you. But yeah, so going forward, as far as like the anime stuff goes, the suggestions and like the 3-episode rule, I'm gonna do like an actual thing. Like if someone has a suggestion for me for something they want me to watch for the season, I'll give it 3 episodes. Something within reason, okay? I am going to reserve the right to like veto any suggestions if I just absolutely don't like them. But for the most part, I will actually watch a lot of the suggestions I get, like the Apocalypse Hotel and Food for the Soul. I'll give those a shot, like a fair shot. That's not to say that I won't suffer through an anime if I get super chats for it. I will just put that out there. If you want to make me suffer, I will do it for money. I am that kind of person, okay? I will shamelessly put that out there. Well, that's how I'm gonna treat it going forward. That being said, it has been an hour and 40 minutes talking about anime, and like I also said, there isn't any like huge news to go over that I'm not saving for an upcoming video, because everything big that happened this week is all related to something I'm going to be making a video on this next week. So stay tuned for that. That will be the very first thing about the season that I'll be making a video on. That said, I do appreciate everyone who was here and who gifted money. To Jeremy Turner for the 5 subs, thank you very much. To everyone who has a sub, who just tuned in genuinely. Marcel, the Questioners, Muffler Tape, Jeremy Turner, Pilgrim. I think JM was here for a little bit. RCS Rules. I appreciate everyone who actually sat and watched the stream, hung out, talked anime. Oh, this? Can you talk about the Weebs and Waifus thing that apparently happened? Okay. If you want to know what happened there, it's an ongoing meme about the channel. They are Weebs and Waifus. They are like an anime channel, and they almost never talk about anime on their streams. And everyone constantly gives them crap. And of all the people who is on there, the newest like weeb of them, Blabbering Collector, is the only one who seems to consistently watch anime and bring something to the table. That is effectively what we're talking about. So the meme for people who are fans of Weebs and Waifus is effectively like they're the anime channel that never talks about anime. They also never interact with their Discord. Like that is the Wild West in there. So that is effectively what you're looking at when it comes to like the Weebs and Waifu stuff. It's nothing severe, nothing super newsworthy. It is literally just they have a Thursday stream called Body Pillow Talk, where they like never talk about anything anime related, unless Blabs brings up fucking Apothecary Diaries or something. Occasionally, Ivan will talk about an anime intro. But most of the time, it's just them, like, dicking around and not really actually talking about anime. So with all that said, this will be the actual end of the stream now. I don't have any big news topics to talk about. There isn't really anything to discuss. Other than, like, this week, 100 Girlfriends, and then the video I've been talking about. Those two are going to come out this week. I'm going to work on those. Tomorrow, members only stream, and maybe some, like, members first stuff will happen. So, like, the gaming streams I'm going to be doing members only, and that's just going to be like a Sunday chill thing. Sometimes we'll also talk about a new anime from like 3 seasons ago. Oh yeah, Ivan does do that. Also, Rolando Ramirez has gifted 1 membership, and that went to Ryuga Samurai. I appreciate that, and that does earn you a little bit of some commentary from Uncle from Another World. So there you go. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'll probably be doing more of like the Minecraft, the modded Minecraft stuff on members only tomorrow. So that's just a chill thing to have some fun and do whatever. I will be doing some like members first videos here soon. I got some ideas from some people about things like some reaction content and stuff that I might be doing. And then just the usual videos that will come out. That is the actual dub for Uncle from Another World, yes. That is the actual dub. That is a real thing. So with that said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who has watched and supported. Hit the like button. I do appreciate it. The interaction with the channel does help me. And I look forward to the next one. Otherwise, have a good night. Have a great week. I'll see you later. See you whenever. Adios.
Hibana-chan.